Hello everyone and welcome. My name's Lainey. This is Big Girls Really Do Cry, and this is the diet word. So we're on week 2 well, of the diet word itself anyway. And I've had an okay week. It's been fine. It was David's birthday on Monday. Did have a Domino's and went over calories. But only by 500 and odd for the day, which could have been worse. I didn't have any cake, like birthday cake, on the day until the next day, but I did have that within calories, so that was fine. Other than that, I'm kind of bored a bit with, like, I need some new ideas and some new foods to try, I think, but it's really hard, like, because I can't sort of cook and whatever. So I tend to just, you know, when I've had enough, I change supermarket for a delivery, you know what I mean? Sounds daft, but just to give us a little something different. So I think I might do a Morrison's shop and try some of their microwave meals and other things, obviously, not just them. Salads and whatnot, you know, all those lovely things. Yeah, and even I know I have had a couple of different snacks this week. I tried these, I think they were called Ape, and they were coconut bites. I'll insert a picture. They were really nice. They were like it was just basically like coconut flakes, like, but sort of like roasted and then stuck together, if that makes sense, into these little discs, tiny sort of this size things. In my shop I ordered the chocolate ones, but they sent the plain ones because I didn't have the chocolate ones, but I really enjoyed them. They were really nice. So yeah, I would recommend these. But it was part of, like, you know, the meal deal when, I don't know if I just said that, but you get the sandwich, the drink, and then a snack. Because usually in the snack I have either the chicken bites or the little sausages or whatever. So and sometimes the eggs. So I thought, well, I'll fancy something different. So that's where I chose, and like I said, they were, because I wanted something sweet, that's what it was, but I didn't just want to straight opt for a chocolate bar, even though, to be fair, they were, I think they were 180 odd calories, so I'll put on the screen if that's different. But yeah, so, you know, you could have a dime bar for 150, although I'm sure the Ape coconut bites are better for you. Yeah, probably. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a fine week. What I'm going to do is what I said I would do last week, which is just read back bits from my blog. Tongue twisters, you know. And I came across I was going to say an article, like I'm like some sort of like writing in a newspaper or something. Not an article. I came across a blog post, I'll get there, I will get there, that I wrote about weight loss tips. So, like, things that I'd learnt basically over the time that I'd been calorie counting. So I did it for about 2.5–3 years before I sort of, yeah, it's about 3 years I think, before it sort of, I gained half of the weight back anyway. So I thought it might remind me, you know, and inspire me if I read them out. So that's what I'm going to do. If you have any, please put yours in the description box below. So I'll read these anyway. Here we go. So 15 handy weight loss tips. Number 1, make sure you drink enough water. I used to confuse thirst with hunger, as I barely drank enough. Also, don't drink before food thinking it'll fill you up if you glug like a whole litre in one go, because that's not the case. What happens is you stretch your stomach when you're drinking all the water, and then it drains away straight away. So if you imagine and so leaves you more hungry. So if you imagine your stomach is like a sieve, and then you glug all this water and it just goes straight through, so you know, instantly stretched stomach, feeling more hungry. It's best to drink and eat at the same time, but by that I don't mean like in the same mouthful, because that's just disgusting. Just don't do that, people. Don't do that. I can't. But like, you know, eat half of your sandwich. Once you've ate it, then have a little drink, blah. Because food mixes with the water in your stomach and it kind of becomes like a thick stew consistency. And as I said, if you imagine your stomach as a sieve, it then drips through slowly, and it keeps you fuller. Number 2, be honest with yourself. After all, you're only cheating yourself in the long run, which is true. Oh, well, it doesn't matter if I only go 200 calories over, you know what I mean, like things like that. And eventually that can lead to, but like not noting it down, you know what I mean, like that sort of thing. Because then if I didn't note it down, this was back in the day when I used to do it on paper and pen, you know, I'll just, you know, miss that bit off to show me dietitian. At the end of the day, she went asked, but it was me who was losing out. Number 3 is to do a weekly menu and buy only what you need. I used to do this, and this is something I need to redo actually, because I would waste stuff because I'd buy it and not have the chance to use it, or you know, I'd just order something out, you know what I mean, instead. And if you buy if I've got extras, then you're likely to have them, aren't you? So yeah, I need to redo that, because that's something I did stop, and it makes a massive difference. And even if like you do 7 days worth of meals planned, or 7 menus planned for the week, and then you buy your shopping in 2 lots or whatever, to make sure you've got French produce. Not French produce, I mean, it's a bit of a trip to go there. Fresh produce, yeah. Okay, number 4 is to make sure you eat enough. If you're inhaling a big gust of air, having a sip of water in half a lettuce leaf, it's not going to work. Your body needs a certain amount of calories to function, and that's without anything else. So just to keep you alive, your body needs a certain amount of calories. So you will be doing yourself no favours if you literally just cut it all. My advice would be to cut down slowly, you know what I mean. If you're on 4,000 calories, you know, drop 1,000 at first, because that's a massive deal at first. But if you just go from 4,000 to 1,000, and I know a lot of people do that, it's not good for you. It's really not. Right, number 5, stop punishing yourself. I know so many people do this, and I was one of these people. Not anymore. I do not punish myself. I do not guilt trip myself. Nothing. I enjoyed my son's birthday with him. I enjoyed mine last month. I'm going to enjoy other things. I have chocolate at least once a day in some form, whether it be a Jaffa cake bar like I've had tonight. 97 calories, nice and all. Or, you know, whatever, it's a dime bar, or in the past cream egg, or whatever. I usually have something chocolate every day, and it's without guilt, and you know, I enjoy it. What I wrote here was, if you fall, get back on. So if you had a takeaway, you've had a bad day, you come in, you've had a takeaway, bear in mind you've lost 2 stone already. It's the first takeaway you've had, and then you punish yourself because of it, and you torture yourself. Don't. At the end of the day, you're still 2 stone. 1 takeaway is not going to make the massive amount of difference. It's not going to undo the whole 2 stone, and one of the things is, like, if you fell over, you wouldn't just stay there crying, blaming yourself for being an idiot for falling. So, you know, just brush yourself down. What's done is done, and move on, move forward. Easier said than done, I know, because I spent a long time punishing myself for that sort of thing. Number 6 is be realistic. I used to have a dream. This is me. I used to have a dream about a machine. Obviously, if I'm saying I used to have a dream, that is about me, isn't it? Christ, where's my brains today? Anyone? So yeah, I used to have a dream about a machine that when you press the button, you'd lose £3 every time. I used to wake up on a morning and my thumb would be aching like mad. Probably was the only exercise I got, although not anymore because the wheelchair, you know. But yeah, I must have been lying there in my dream going like this, you know, as many times as I could. And as I've wrote here, it was the only exercise I ever did willingly. If only it was possible, if only it was that easy, you know what I mean, that you could have a dream and all change. But sadly, that's just my fairy tale mind. The only thing that works is doing it the hard way, but it's also very rewarding because you feel proud of yourself, and it's true. It is very true. Number 7 is don't give yourself massive targets. I used to do this all of the time, right? But this time I've just said, as long as I'm losing overall, that's all you need, you know. And I put I would think, right, I want to lose 5 stone by my birthday, and then I'm trying to read this, sorry, I'm really bad at writing, clearly. So I'm like, does that make sense? Yeah. So I would think, right, I want to lose 5 stone by my birthday, and then I'd only lose 3. Instead of thinking of the massive achievement of losing 3 stone, I'd be so upset at how shit I was because I'd failed to reach the ridiculous goal that I'd set in the first place. So now my goals are much smaller, without time restrictions, and I know I'll get there, as it's not a race. This is what I said before, and I still kind of stand by that, you know what I mean. Obviously I know I've had a blip in my race, essentially, so I do stand by it. It's not that I kind of had a, you know, I was not going to all the hurdles, as it were. Whereas, like, now I feel really positive about it. And I know I can't get weighed every week and stuff, but like, when I do get weighed, obviously I'll have a bigger chunk of numbers minus, hopefully, to look at, and that's cool. And as long as it's going down, that's the main thing, because you're not in a race with anyone else, you know. You're not even in a race with yourself. This is just you know what I mean, doing what's best for you. And if it takes you 5 years to get, I'm not going to say to get to where you feel more comfortable, because I hope you're happy within yourself anyway, do you know what I mean? Right, where am I? I'm sorry if I'm waffling on. 8, don't be hard on yourself. If you don't lose, gain, or don't lose as much as you thought, your body is constantly changing throughout the day. Always get weighed at the same time on the same day every week. Don't be tempted to weigh yourself constantly. You don't get the same result. If you do gain or stay the same, look at your food intake, and if it needs it, tweak it. All it takes is a slight difference, so don't panic. It happened to me a few times so far, and I know it will happen again. Our bodies are very complex and they are constantly changing. That's very true. I remember, you know, going through for 3 weeks, I think. In fact, in over 3 weeks I gained 2 kilos. So I'd gained 2 kilos, and I stayed the same, and then I dropped 5 pounds. So I kind of like went through this cycle, and I don't know if it was just you know, something to do with my, because I was in hospital at the time and I hadn't changed anything in what was happening. Could have just been my body saying, hold on a minute. Could have just been, you know, period related, fluid intake related, whatever, you know what I mean. Just try to keep focused and stay there, and if it, you know, after a couple of weeks it's still not changing, then maybe look at more detail at what you're doing. And it could just be the slightest thing that you never thought of, you know what I mean, because that's all it takes, isn't it? Okay, number 9 is swap your carbs. Your body needs good carbs as it turns to glucose, which is energy. Your body needs to work, it turns to energy that your body needs to work. So ditch the white breads, the pastas and cereals for wholemeal and whole wheat, whole grain. They are so much better for you and won't make you feel sluggish. I have changed mine. I did that a long time ago. I don't really have cereal, to be honest, but I do have wholemeal bread and whole grain rice. So yeah, and now and then have bran flakes, now and then. Or what's the other things? Shreddies. I was trying to think what they're called. Shreddies, now and then, but it's very rare, very rare. Number 10 is exercise. Now, I've never been one for exercise. In fact, I always viewed the word gym, not the gym, as a swear word. However, it is good for your body and your brain. So pick something that you like. So for instance, now, if I was able to do something, I would love to go swimming, and I would love to do like dancing. I did country dancing years ago and I really enjoyed it, like, and it's, you know, a fun thing to do, like it's exercise that works. It doesn't have to be a chore, you know, it doesn't have to be something you dread. So, and you never know, and also try different things, because you might end up loving whatever it is, you never know. 11 is be positive. Take one day at a time and be positive about it. It makes such a difference when you believe you can. How many times in your life have you thought you couldn't do something and then you did? That sort of doesn't make sense, does it? It's like I'm saying be positive, and then when you were negative and you didn't think you could but you did. Does that make sense? I probably don't make sense. That's true. Anyway, number 12, enjoy what you love, in moderation, of course. I think for me personally, if I ban everything that I need, then I would just want everything, and also I feel like it takes the fun out of it. So I know that like food is just for survival, right? But as humans, we love it. We love different tastes. We love certain things. Yeah, usually all the things that are very high in calories, I might add. But yeah, I kind of tend to sort of think to myself, you know, if I want something, if I really fancy something, like an eclair, for instance, a chocolate eclair, whatever. I usually say to myself, right, if you still want it tomorrow, then I'll incorporate it into my calories, right? And sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget that I wanted it, because I just want something instantly right then. And other times I can't forget it, and so then I do get it and I do incorporate it into my calories, and I enjoy it guilt-free. And I think it helps a lot sometimes. Number 13 is buy a smaller plate. So it's better that your plate, that the plate you're using looks full. I think you can get a lunch plate which is smaller than a dinner plate. So if you put your dinner onto a dinner plate and it looks half empty, you know, I think it gives you that sort of what's the word, trying to think, what's the word? Anyway, when you sort of fool yourself into believing something, I guess, or when you're looking at something that looks half empty and then you're thinking that you haven't eaten because it was half empty, if that makes sense. Whereas if you looked at a full smaller plate, then you might sort of fool yourself into thinking you were having more than you were. What is that called? Being sly to your brain. No, it isn't. I'm just kidding. I can't think what it's called, but yeah, it's something. Okay. 14. Eat slowly. Take your time to eat. You're more likely to feel you have, and I think we're all guilty of just shoveling something in our mouth and not actually paying attention to the fact that we've had it, because we're doing something else at the same time. But I think when you do that, you kind of don't feel like you've eaten because you don't remember it. So I think taking the time out to eat it, even if you're watching something, I think watching something is okay, where you just, you know, you're zoned out watching something like that. But if you have to interact, or you have to do something, if you're typing and then you're just grabbing a bite of your sandwich and then you're typing a bit more, or you're running about your house doing cleaning while, you know, grabbing a bite of whatever, like, I think sometimes you don't realise, or you can forget you've ate. It's like having snacks in the day. If you just do them, you know, randomly, and like not realise that you kind of forgot. Last one, 15, is believe in yourself. You can do anything you want as long as it's not illegal. That's what I wrote, and that is very true. You can. Well, technically you could still do it, but then, you know, you'd get arrested and stuff, so it's probably not worth it, whatever that is. Anyway, and then I wrote at the bottom of this, I hope these help you like they have me. Be good to yourself, you deserve it. And that is true, you do. So be good to yourself because you deserve it. Right, sorry for that whole waffle of nonsense anyway. So I'm just going to put in here, obviously, the screenshot of my daily average for the week, slightly over my 2,450 at 2,487. Not a massive deal, but yeah, hopefully I can get it under that 2,450 next week. I hope you are all doing really well. Let me know in the comments how you're doing, if you're following anything or whatnot. Thank you for watching and for all of your support, and take care. Bye bye.